host of Access Hollywood Weekend and your moderator for today's half hour with Emily in Paris. Joining us are creator and showrunner, executive producer Darren Star, producer Lily Collins, who also stars as Emily, Philippine Leroy-Beaulieu, who also plays Sylvie, Ashley Park, who plays Mindy, Luca Bravo, who plays Gabrielle, and costume designer extraordinaire, Marylin Fitoussi. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you for having us. Bye.
Bonjour.
I'm excited to talk to all of you. I've spoke to some of you before. I'm a huge fan of the show. I've covered interviews with you all before, so it's great to be here. But before we get into that, I want to take a look with everyone right now at a trailer from the show, and then we're going to dive into all the questions about Emily and Paris.
Emily Cooper.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
I got a feeling I'm in trouble when I look at you.
I'm Emily, your new neighbor.
Enchanté.
Cause once I do it, yeah, I know I'll never get enough.
So, you've come to teach the French some American tricks?
Never get enough.
Has anyone noticed this is a very dysfunctional workplace?
I think you're the one bringing the drama.
You got that something that
I'm so glad we're friends.
something that
So you're single in Paris?
you know I gotta have it.
I didn't know that you had a girlfriend. French men are flirts. Just act normal when you see him. But I'm not this person. I'm the girl who shows up, not the girl who makes bad decisions.
You don't come to Paris to be good.
Sexy. Oh, would you stop? I have some ideas about marketing to Laura that I would like to share with you.
Very sexy, no?
Sexy or sexist?
What is the problem?
With all due respect, I have been sent here for a reason. Look, I want us to win together.
It's a little controversial. I like it.
And maybe some things get lost in translation, but just know that I'm finding my way. Paris is the most exciting city in the world, and you never know what's going to happen next.
Yay! Take me back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who wants to start after seeing that, obviously, and seeing the feedback already from all of the fans, even people just getting to know us today and the rest of the cast today? Who wants to start? How do you feel seeing the trailer again and watching it?
Take me back. No, it's so crazy to watch that because no matter how many times I can watch that, I feel so nostalgic for shooting. I'm so excited to get to do it again. It's one of those magical things where you watch the trailer. Like when I first saw that trailer, and I remember seeing with Ashley when we watched in the hotel room together, like see that, to see like the teaser stuff, and then to have it so perfectly translate our experience. Like that's what the feeling I get from the trailer is the feeling I got every day on set. And that's so rare. I think normally it's like you had to deal with a crazy cast or crew and you're kind of going, oh, that was a nightmare, but it looks cute, and you're going, no, it truly felt like that energy and that magic every day. And to have it perfectly translate and captured on a screen and have people come up and say, you reminded me what it felt like to have fun when I watched that. And it's like that's like the nicest compliment and the biggest gift to give anyone, is to smile and laugh, and to see that and just to feel that nostalgia and love, and to know that we get to do it again. It's so incredible.
I mean, it was the happiest time of our lives, at least for me. And I think that, like, I haven't actually watched the trailer, I think, since before the show came out. And I could not stop laughing, and smiling and honestly dancing. Like, and I know what happens in the story. I'm in it, like, I just like feel the joy all over again. And it's just like, oh man, it's so fun.
So fun.
And I'm a French bitch, so and that's very clear in the trailer.
Yes, so good. So good to watch trailers.
Darren, when you watch this, obviously, and Lily, you had just mentioned, you say the word again. I need to let everyone know, and also congratulate you and the rest of the cast. The Renewal season 2 is about to go down. Congratulations. Again,
Thank you.
feels like obviously you put so much work into this. It took time to get it shot prior to everything that's happening to us in 2020. But to have that, you know, first season drop in October, already get the second season renewal, what does that mean to you, Darren?
I mean, it's just great validation of the show that the audience responded like that. And for me, I've never had a show on Netflix, so that instantaneous worldwide response was like overwhelming. And to have a show that everybody in the world can see at the same time, experience at the same time, when everyone in the world is going through the same terrible situation, but they're home, and that this show gave people like a lift and put a smile on their face all over the world, just sort of meant so much, and could not have dreamed of anything better.
Absolutely. And to have, I mean, obviously, again, the fans, if there was one thing, Philippine, I'll ask you this question. If there was one thing you could say to someone who has yet to see the first season because they've been living under a rock, what would you say would grab them first, and why should they?
Okay, do you want to eat a very good French pastry and have a very, very good French wine and just enjoy the moment? Just watch Emily, because it's like a box of chocolate. It doesn't give you a stomach ache though. It's like super, super digestible. You can digest it easily because it's slight, it's beautiful, it has grace, it has, you know, wonder, and it's beautiful. It's like a dance actually. So it was really nice. And what I got from the fans was so much joy that they got out of the show. I mean, in the moment it came out, it was just, you know, we're in a moment that's very special. So people were so happy to have this very light and beautiful and sparkling moment, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really a love letter to Paris, and I'm really thrilled to see Paris through Darren's eyes, because it's exactly what we need right now. It's beautiful, it's fashion, you have funny clothes, you have colors, it's refreshing as champagne, and I think we really need that. And I escape and rediscover the city. So yes, we encourage absolutely people to see that. It was a very great experience, and Darren knows perfectly the city, so romanticize, idealize, it doesn't matter. It's just an artistic vision, and I was really overwhelmed when I saw the series.
Really. Darren has a take on the city that is beautiful. That is very, you know, it's a love letter to Paris, as Marylin said. Really, it's like, you know, how in love can we be of this city? And it's Darren, really great honor you did to the city. Thank you.
Yeah, honestly,
Thank you.
Speaking of cities, it is very important for you in your projects to kind of make the city the character as well. It's not just, hi, we're in, you know, Paris. This is another character in this show. Why is that so important to you to hone in on that and light that city up?
It inspired me. It's the reason I did the show, is that I've spent so many years since I was a kid backpacking in Europe, discovering Paris when I was 19 and just falling in love with the city, and going back so many years and just imagining what it would be like to live and work there, what it would be like to tell a story of somebody from America who would be a fish out of water in this city, but also kind of captivated by it. And so it was a dream of mine to film there. So Paris was always a part of the show, a character in the show, because it inspired the show for me. And it was the reason to do the show. And I wouldn't have done it if we had to film in another city that is standing for Paris, because it was very important to capture the soul of the city by filming there.
And Luca, you are from France. I've spoke to you about this several times. Everyone loves your character. What is it about the city for you that you got to go back home, be there again? And were there any new firsts for you that you hadn't experienced growing up?
There's been a lot of firsts. I completely rediscovered the city through Darren's vision. And you know, when everybody left, I felt like a tourist in my own city. It was amazing. And I discovered, when we went to Atelier des Lumières, the Musée des Arts Forains, and many important scenes in the show were places I've never been to before. Because you know, it's a big city, it's a small town, but there's so many different places, hidden places, most of them. So yeah, it's been a discovery all over.
Like the city, I feel like costumes and these designs and how they're pieced together speak for themselves as a character as well. Did you feel like that, Ashley and Lily, when you put on these outfits?
I completely did. I mean, I always say for myself that the creation of a character comes so much from the hair and makeup department and the costumes. And, you know, my first experience with Emily was going to New York and having a quick little fitting with Patricia and just discussing ideas and colors and prints and textures and all of that. And her and Marylin, you know, and then I met Marylin through email before I got there, but they were sending these PDFs every other day of different designers and saying, circle what it is that you like, that you feel as Emily. And so I did that. But then when I got to Paris, almost everything I'd circled was just in the fitting room. And I'm like, what is all this? And they're like, well, you thought that was Emily, you know? And so for me, being able to play and be this palette that Marylin and Patricia mutually could just throw things on and play around. And, you know, Marylin's a genius at mixing all the Parisian style and having the like up and coming brands and mixing vintage, and the jewelry that Marylin picks out is astounding. And then mixing it with Patricia with her belts and the hats and it's just the whole thing. You carry yourself differently, you know, you walk differently, you like Emily's wardrobe is bright, bold, and a little bit obvious, which is exactly what her personality is. It's bright, it's bold, it's a little bit obvious. And so the more I had going on my body, I was like, I could just be more. And that's just who Emily is, you know, and there's nothing understated about her. And I really use it to create a character for myself. And for me, one of the hardest things about creating Emily was differentiating her from me, because there's a lot of qualities, and that's when I realized, oh, I'm gonna lean into that, and that's how I can separate from her. And then we were in quarantine and I'm bored of my outfits and I'm wishing to just go back so that I can be bright and bold and bubbly again in my outfits.
And what was so fun for us too is it really did feel like whenever me and Lily would come onto set in the morning, it would feel like, you know, that part of I think we all love fashion so much because it really is a way to express part of our identity and what we're feeling inside, even that morning. And because Marylin and Patricia were just, we keep saying collaborative, but it really was that. I mean, and also so hands-on. I have so many mirror selfies of Marylin and like Patricia just on their hands and knees, and Patricia being like, let's put the hem up, like, let's try this, like, that's fine, let's try this, you know? And like, they really took the time to let us really pick the things that we felt was important for that character in that scene. What purse would she have her phone in? What shoes would they be wearing? Oh my gosh, they're doing a walk and talk again. Like, what heels would they be walking to lunch in? Like, it was just, it felt like when we would come up to set, I felt like we like picked our outfits and we were like, me and Lily were always so excited to show each other them because, you know, it felt like a part of us as well. And Philippine as well, I'm sure, you know, like having such like a say and really allowing the fashion to inform the characters in that sense, but also just like to be able to wear those things. I think a lot of people ask us all the time, what would you have kept? What costumes do you wish you would have kept? And like for me, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Mindy's though. Like, how could I even take it out of that world? And like, I don't know if I could pull that off in real life, you know, but it was just the best time. And those mornings when we get to do those fittings for hours were just the best.
No, it speaks volumes, just how much went into this, obviously. And it looks, I mean, everyone looks amazing every time you pop on screen. You want to be next to you, want to have a croissant. I want to have my wine. I want to enjoy myself. Philippine, in this, you and Emily have a complicated relationship, but it is so much fun to watch the dynamic between the two of you. Can you explain that and what drew you to the project and this character?
Well, it's love and hate. It's a mix of both, you know. It's admiration and jealousy. It's basically, you know, both of these things that go through this woman. She's older. She sees this younger woman coming with so much talent and drive and boldness, and she just hates her for being so bold and talented. But even though probably she was like that when she was younger, Sylvie, she had to make her way through, you know, this terrible masculine universe at that time, probably much more than now. And so she, you know, she's really fascinated by also this American candy that has this little tiny bit of arrogance. At least that's how the French see it, you know, because the American drive can be so strong that the French sometimes that are very laid back and more blasé, they can always feel that the Americans are a bit arrogant. How do they know better than us? We have such a different way of doing things, which is true. We do manage to get things done in a totally different way. And so that's what I also like about the projects. It's about cultural clash. And this thing about, the Americans and the French being so talented, both peoples are very talented, but they've always been like cats and dogs a little bit about their culture, so what I also love about the character is being, this French culturally French lady that really like stands for her culture, stands for her, her truth. And I love it. Makes me think of Asterix, Asterix, the French. She makes me think of them, this like little village of people that will never give in to the Roman Empire, and she's a bit like that. And I really like that. And she's also very vulnerable. And she's very vulnerable. She's a woman that lived, so she's hurt, like a lot of people that had a longer life, and so she has that soft spot or delicate, vulnerable spot that I also cherished and nurtured during the shooting, because I thought it was important to have that facade of harshness, but that people could read that behind there was something that was falling apart, and I like that, and a lot of people actually saw it, and I was very happy, because it was it meant a lot to me that people saw it. So yeah. I love the character. I just love Sylvie. I'm dying to have her spring out of me again. I'm really like because she's there, she wants to come out.
Even the moments when you're no spoilers, but even the moments when you're at the dinners and you see all these moments of you and all these different parts of your character coming out, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
As well as the strength. Luca, your character Gabrielle, your relationship with Lily's character Emily. What's happening? How can you describe the dynamic between the two of you, and what drew you as well to your character?
I think when Emily arrives in Gabriel's life, he's pretty lost. From what I gathered, he's pretty emasculated by Camille, his girlfriend. He doesn't have a voice anymore. She wants to help him, but he wants to make it on his own. And he's in a kind of comfort zone, but a comfort zone isn't a zone where you're comfortable. It's a zone that you're used to. So he's not taking any risks anymore. And Emily arrives with that crazy, curious energy, and a fire just starts with him, and he wants to follow her. He wants to see more, because the way he feels, he hasn't felt for a long time. So she's that curiosity to him, and also she's Emily. She's beautiful, and he feels alive around her. So I think this is where the story starts.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, Darren, are a lot of people hounding you about this? Where are we going to go with the characters in season 2? Do you get those messages?
I do, and I love getting them, because I think the most you can hope for is that people are curious about what happens with the characters of your series, and that they want to see season 2, and that they're thinking about them, and I love that.
Absolutely. And I didn't talk to you about Mindy, your character outside of the fashion. What drew you? What drew you to Mindy? I love her one-liners. I love her ad-libs. Everything that she says is so much fun. And you just seem like the happiest, most motivating friend that you can have as well. And your character, obviously successful career on Broadway, doing this, what does it mean to you, and why did you draw to this character so much?
Oh my God. Thank you so much for that. I mean, it means everything to me. I think I really found myself as not only an artist, but as a woman during my time in Paris, and as a human. And I think exactly what you said, the fact that she's just so motivated, and it's effortless for her to be a good friend and a person who is easy to be around and wants to be the life of the party, often throwing parties that she probably shouldn't be throwing. Yeah, Mindy was a great time. I mean, I wanted to do the project right away when I like knew that Darren and Patricia and Lily and Paris. I'd never been to Paris, and it's like now my favorite city in the world. And it couldn't
You
have been.
are Emily.
Yeah.
I kept saying that to you every time we go see something. Like the day I met her, we did the table read, and then we went to a cast and crew dinner. And I was hearing these stories at dinner where she had like walked from like A to B, right? She'd gone and she'd passed the Eiffel Tower and across bridges, and she's like, no, but that was like the Eiffel Tower. And they were like, yeah, I know. She's like, no, but it was the Eiffel Tower. And it was like the way that Ashley experienced Paris for the first time served as a huge inspiration for me is how to play Emily. Because sometimes you can get so used to seeing things that you're used to. And it's like, okay, how do I re-see this for the first time? And so to be able to spend time with someone who was so grateful and appreciative of every moment of experiencing these new things and tasting things for the first time and going to these museums and like having these amazing experiences, it was just so wonderful to be able to see that and be inspired by it.
I had my own personal Mindy in Paris, which was like Luca and a lot of the French cast. Because the issue is that I was like, oh my gosh, Paris is great. I want everyone to come here. I want to discover it. And then I was like, I'm new. I don't know the city at all. Like someone else help me. So yeah, it was
no one has ever had more on-set visits than Ashley.
I
think that it was so sweet. It was like I felt like I was living vicariously through her in her adventures in Paris, because she's like, oh, my friend's coming here and they're going to visit me. And I was like, please experience all this for me while we're on set. It was so sweet because she had so much support and it was so sweet. I feel like now you can be my tour guide.
Marylin, I want to go back one more time to the fashion, because again, it speaks volumes every time any character is on the screen. Do you have a favorite look of yours, or was there an inspiration outside of the city or in the city that you wanted to go for this cast?
You know that a perfect costume, it's nothing without a perfect cast. And I think I had the chance to have the perfect cast for that. One look that I really like a lot, it's one of Emily's look, it's the pink ball, total pink outfit. I think
that's one of my favorites too.
Yes, you too.
Sorry,
I know.
Yeah.
When I style that, I say, okay, I know it will be too much. I know she's going to go out of a comfort zone. I know she looks like a neon. Okay, but it was so Lily for me and so Emily that I say, okay, let's try it and let's have a look on that. And Pat said to me, are you sure about it? I say, I want to try. And that's how Pat was really open-minded. She said, okay, let's try it. She never said, no, don't do that. And yes, it was loud, but I think it was very bold and it was like a statement. And it was really funny.
Yeah.
Lily carries that and she rocks this outfit.
I mean, Lily can pull off literally anything. I guarantee you, if they put a paper bag on Lily, it would be that, like, she made a bucket hat cute for a lot of it. Like, it is actually, and like Lily has let me dress her before, like just for fun, because I'm like, this is fun. It's like a real life Barbie doll, and like it is so like she just looks good in everything. So it's very easy.
Yeah. And for Sylvie also, she Philippine has such a class, a natural class, and she's a very intimidating character. So in the series, so she don't need to speak loud to be listened, and she just arrives, and she's for me the perfect French chic, and she could enter that. Really, she's the best ambassador of France, because she has this balance between sensuality, sexiness, and fashion never overcomes a personality, and she did a great exercise.
I think the best compliment for you is the fact that on Halloween, so many people dressed as Gabrielle and Sylvie and
it's so crazy.
No?
And by the way, not only humans, cats and dogs. I
saw a dog with a little pan at chef costume. Like, and the Philippine ones were so funny because every single person dressed as Philippine as Sylvie was holding their hands like this, you know, as the show. It was so funny.
Yeah, I know.
Love it. Love.
I know.
So good.
But you did tell me, Marylin, something that I liked. You said the costume I prefer on you is the simplest one, is the white shirt with the black dress. Yeah. And I do like that too. I do like and it's funny because a friend of mine that works in fashion, she said, you look perfect like that's the understatement of every fashion editor or whatever. It's just, and there's a picture of Corinne Rothfeld with a white shirt and a black skirt, exactly the same we did. So it was funny because it was the understatement of the super chic.
Well, Darren, after hearing all of this and knowing, again, congratulations to all of you and the rest of the cast, everyone involved in this for the renewal and for the season 2 renewal, because that is a huge deal. And the fact that, again, like you mentioned, people are dressing up like you all for Halloween. It's all over the place. Everyone is influenced by this. Darren, what do you want those out there who have yet to see it, those who have seen it and are anticipating the next season, what do you want everyone to take from it?
People to take a sense of joy and optimism and fun, and also just the idea that travel is just opens up your world and your experience, because I think that's what it does for Emily. So to me, that's the big message of the show, is just like go out of your comfort zone and travel. And I look forward to the time when we can all be doing that again.
You guys, thank you so much. Thank you to all
Thank
of
you.
Thank you for having us.
Merci.
All of you guys, and to everyone who's watching right now, this panel from your comfy homes or wherever you are, your offices right now, thank you so much as well. I'm Sibley Scoles. Thank you everyone so much.
Merci.
Thank you.
Thank you, merci.
Bye.
Au revoir.